Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Exable Zero podcast with the members of Barrage. Come on, fellow guests, could you introduce yourself?
I'm Heartblood Rose, also known as Shasta. I am a 2D animator on YouTube, or at least attempting to be. Uh, yeah, pleasure to meet you.
Sup, everybody? Warren Thompson. You guys, I'm a freelance artist. You can find me on Instagram and all that stuff, and I'll share the links later.
Hey, I'm Shingo Amito. You can find me on YouTube, DeviantArt, and Instagram as Shingo Amito. And I am, what am I? I do stuff. Yeah, we'll go with that.
And my name is Antonio. You can find me at Error Bottom Staff Full Bottom Staff Error at anywhere. I don't know. The links will probably be in the bottom. And I am working on a comic book that hopefully before the year is end, you guys will see the whole chapter. Um, Yeah, we're gonna start off this podcast a little bit different. It's a little bit chill. It's a little bit late night and stuff like that. So I want to know if you guys had the ability to get a giant raw scroll of a poster, what would it be? Me personally, it would probably be the Unicorn Gunner with Benager sticking out his hand, be like, "Yo, come," and the girl's like floating down. I would love to have that, a giant mural. What about you guys?
In my opinion, I haven't done a lot of like looking around to see if this is actually a thing already, but I definitely want to get a really nice Psychopass wall scroll. Uh,
You don't like psychopaths like that, man.
I do like Psychopass like that, Tony. You just never talk to me about it because you don't think I'm a good friend.
Oh!
Friends!
No, but like a Psychopass poster, preferably from season one, because I did prefer season one over season two. I do think season two is pretty good.
I agree with you, man. Season one was so good. Um, Season two started off strong, but the ending was so luster. Like,
It's
but
because
yeah, I digress. Go.
they only had 11 episodes, and they switched writers because the original writer didn't come back for the second season. So the guy was trying to emulate the feel of the first season, but when you emulate something, it's never going to be exactly the same. I think that was what people were feeling throughout it.
I felt that, but my biggest thing is the concept of using medications to help hide the systems versus fixing the systems. I thought that concept was really good, but then the villain itself was really boring.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't even hardly understood him. He's like, he's like, his body is full with a whole bunch of different people, so you can't judge him. Like, it makes no sense. Like,
You kind of went supernatural with it. He's like the manifestation of 108 souls that died in a one plane accident.
but the
Oh.
whole thing is so sci-fi. It's like,
I know. It doesn't fit. By the way, spoilers. Sorry for telling you that after the fact, but
I forget what spoilers. No one cares about spoilers. I do love that they put everything together and how the system didn't judge itself because they
Mm.
didn't want, like, the system itself was scared to judge him because it'll have to judge itself, and in the end it's like it made the decision to judge itself and like basically kill itself. And I thought that was really cool.
Well, it didn't kill itself, it purged itself, which is a little bit interesting because it's pretty much it cut its own power in half. I think it was really talking about like the god complex and conquering the god complex. But yeah, that was my 2 cents. I'm done.
Alright. My wall scroll. I've recently been obsessed with this series called Vinland Saga, and I would love a scroll of the main or of Askeladd and adult. Huh?
Thorfinn, right?
Thorfinn, yeah. Adult Thorfinn and Askeladd, just, doing their thing. I'd love a huge wall scroll of that, like farmer slave version of, it was just, it would be really cool. And another wall scroll I'd like, sorry to go for two, is Shut Hell. I'd like to have
Mhm.
one of, the Prince and, of course, Shut Hell. Now, these series aren't released in English, by the way. They're all scanlated.
Well, Vinland Saga has a few releases in English.
And which I've already bought. I'm waiting for Shut Hell to come out in English to buy it.
Let's hope.
I do. It deserves to be.
I all this
I
whole
actually
time,
almost bought it in Japanese. I
this
still might.
this whole time I thought you were gonna say a giant poster of Zagor, like life size.
Stop.
No!
Please.
Anyway, I would like a poster of Zathor, but that's more of that I think content created by my friends is a different subject.
Or,
Oh, ooh. Oh,
or
throwing on the log. Okay, if we're gonna go on that tangent, Warren, I'm asking for a blow up doll of Azella. Thank you.
no, I was about to say like for if it didn't have to be commercialized, I'd say I want all my characters just like a giant tall wall scroll of just them clumped together. If not, there was an exclusive Kill la Kill one of Satsuki and Ryuko clashing swords, and a third one was like the whole Marvel versus Capcom 2 cache is falling from the sky. I just love those with like multiple characters just fucking falling in a sense of space. I love it.
That will be dope. The following one.
Yeah. That's why Kingdom Hearts gets you.
Oh, and the one I was saying a while back, the Fire Emblem Awakening one, but holographic silver.
Mhm.
Oh my god, that like the composition on that is freaking gorgeous.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I actually wish it had some of the kids, but I understand why. I'm at no okay. I'm so mad they brought like Odin, Selena, and whoever Salis, and they did not bring my girl Catskill.
You can't even remember. Oh!
Right.
Yo Warren though. I mean the one with the pigtails. Lucina's sister.
Cynthia?
Cynthia. They did not make Cynthia. Cynthia's so freaking awesome. Makes no sense.
Oh, you know, it's the same. It's the same thing that happened with Birthright. They took a poll and they're like, "What children would you like to see from Awakening appear as actual characters
Oh my
in
God.
Conquest?" And just like, what parent characters would you like to see as children in Birthright? And the ones that won were Odin's, Selena, and Laszlo.
Okay, but okay, okay. This is gonna open up to our topic of waifu for like half the podcast. I cannot believe they made a voting system and the bishy girl won versus the cute go-getty girl. The fandom
Well,
for like like abusive girls are that much bigger.
It's tsundere. It's a huge thing in Japan, and the otaku culture it panders to otaku culture. So if you're gonna go in there and say you can't believe that, then you don't understand Japanese culture.
But I'm a
Or
little bit.
not. Okay, I should rephrase. You don't understand Japanese popular opinion. That's
Man, you guys don't know shit about freaking what they did the Dead or Alive poll. They cut out all the good girls just so we could introduce the new girls. I'm like, wow, what a horrible voting system.
my point is, like, I guess Western audiences aren't factored into these polls, and that's because these games were originally created in Japan. If we want to switch that, we got to make good games in the West that are like the games in Japan.
To be fair, how many American things concentrate on stuff like if they were doing a poll here in the States or whatever in North America, would they really concentrate on other countries as well? No, they put
they wouldn't.
themselves on the priorities. Same thing with Japan. Like
Yeah,
their
I mean-
products, but they don't give a fuck.
Exactly, and like I guess the end all be all is like wherever you make it, that's the people you're going to cater to first.
Yeah, fair point. Home team.
Mhm.
Which is on another topic. It would be good if the content creators in North America who do anime-styled otaku kind of work really push themselves to make it more known,
Or
so
at least
that we
more
have our
palatable.
own.
Or at
Sorry?
least more, or at least more palatable to, I guess, people in North America, right?
Yeah, so because it's actually an art form, and it's sad that it's been miscued. Maybe that's not the word, but it's been frowned down upon in both Japanese and English cultures.
I don't know.
And the problem is the content created by some of these quote unquote fans is sometimes amazing.
Oh yeah, are we talking about fan animations or like?
No, I mean legitimate artists who do anime style, but when they market it, they have to go in the title of this is inspired by anime. Well, anime is just a style, right? And it's not even just a style; it's actually a word for animation. It's not even a style.
They're all the same thing. Manga comics are all the same thing.
They're
And the
all
thing
the
is-
same thing, yes.
The thing is, Ruby and Avatar, like Ruby and like Skullgirls and all that, like they're big as they're big in Japan. Like if you see the collector's edition for like Ruby and Skullgirls, they're these immaculate, beautiful boxes and everything. And like Amit, you said you got the art book. He was working it. Like they care a lot too, and it's like I don't like if there was a lot of work put behind a property like maybe an anime inspired work like based in the States or a Western type of thing. Like if there's fun, if you can see that there's fun and they actually cared about doing this, yeah, it may take off. Like people like Teen Titans and all that stuff, and now it's just like.
Yeah. So on the note of waifus.
Yep.
So where do we start?
Well,
yeah,
I guess. Okay, go, Tony.
No, I'm actually interested. What were you gonna say, man?
I was gonna.
Oh, sorry.
No, go.
No, I want Amit. Go ahead.
Okay.
Fine. What I was gonna say is like, what would you consider a waifu in the first place?
Oh, that's a horrible question. I hate you, Amit.
Hi.
The floodgates are open. Go ahead.
Well, to be honest, the official definition is a personification of a digital or non-fictional animated character that you have feelings for, whether it be insanely romantic to just a cute crush. Now, mind you, there is some history behind the term waifu, right? And in Google Trends, 2007 is the first significant appearance of it. But, of course, the oldest term for waifu is actually generated way back in the 1980s.
And what was it used for? The same thing?
It was used to, crap. I'm looking at an article right now by Japan Powered, and so these are not my own words, of course, but I've done a little more research as well. And the waifu is an English loanword that appeared in the Japanese lexicon around 1980. The dynamics between a husband and wife continue to change in the way that made tradition, referring to a woman as a wife, offensive to young couples. Kanai was the word for wife, using two Chinese characters meaning inside the house. It became objectable for many young women. Likewise, for the word husband, shunji or dana, translated to master. Because these words failed to match the relationships, many couples adapted the word husband and wife. And of course, the word slightly changed in pronunciation. Wife became waifu, and husband became hanzo.
Wait. So you're telling me waifu was originally made for justified women? It was like I can't even.
Yeah. It was
changing
more
the
respect
terms.
to the new relationships as the culture shift happened. And that was after the World War II, right?
1980.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
wait. But was it demeaning or was it to give more respect to women?
More respect, because the
I
original
thought it was
word
demeaning.
kanai.
I thought it was more demeaning. I wasn't about to use that word 20% right now.
No. The original word kanai was the word for wife, and it used two Chinese characters that mean inside the house, implying that the women stayed inside the house. And for husband, it was dana, which roughly translated to master.
Or boss.
Or boss, yeah. Which, of course, in modern-day relationships, that doesn't really fly. So the word changed into waifu and hazu. And, of course, it eventually got picked up by American fans and was used to refer to their favorite anime characters.
That doesn't make sense to me. But then again, I don't know much about that. So I think what would have had to have happened is that some Japanese otaku had to have used the word first to refer to their own personal, I guess, favorites, and then that's how it circulated to America as like, oh, this is a popular word, so the otaku are using it over there.
Yeah.
I don't think it just randomly came over.
No. And it says slowly picked up, so. I mean,
Okay.
The words they use in this Japan-powered otaku culture article.
I actually kind of find that interesting that like anime fans in the western part of the world, when they're picking up terms from Japan, they're only picking it up from the otaku subset. They're not picking it up from the overall culture. And I find that a lot of people end up sort of overstepping the culture to get to just the part they like. So it's like let's not focus on mainstream Japan. Let's focus on the very small subset of Japan that actually interests us.
Welcome to the world.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's just funny how that works in general.
it does, man. Just the pop culture is what reaches us for the majority. So,
All right,
waifus.
so that's the history behind the waifu.
So my definition is actually, I wouldn't say it's exactly that. To be honest, when I use the term waifu, I don't actually have a connection to the characters I consider waifu. And I was thinking about this for a bit, but like, I say that a character is a waifu because they have particular traits that I like seeing, not in like a particular partner, but just in like people in general. Like, a lot of the characters I consider waifu have strong convictions, are usually very, I want to say, focused and determined on completing a goal. So they have something to work towards, and they work hard for those goals, or they have really outgoing personalities and are just fun to be around. And these are the people, or the fictional characters I tend to call waifu in the first place. And likewise, husbando set, that I also have a list of husbandos that goes by that same thing. So it's not necessarily feelings that are romantic when they use that. And actually, to be honest, serious, I don't understand the concept of people being romantically bound to fictional characters to begin with.
Yo, let's not alienate our fans, alright?
Let's not alienate,
All zero of them?
let's not alienate me, all right?
Well, that's the point. I'm trying to alienate you so you can justify yourself.
Wow.
Speak up, Warren. It is your turn.
Speak up. You offended me. I'm leaving. No, but it's just like I don't know. Like if a female character or a male character shows a lot of qualities I like, and they're just cool character, I'm like, yeah, I'll put a ring on it. I'll waifu them, husbando them. Like, it's just like, but it's more. It's not like a sexual infatuation. It's like, oh, it's a cool character, and I think I use the term more loosely now. It's like, oh, who are your waifus for this season? Oh, I liked her, but I'm like, I'll forget about them when the next season rolls by. But if it's a character like fucking, oh god, the Hestia figure, stop looking at me, please. Yeah, but if it's like Chun-Li or something, I'm like, shit. It's like a companion because she's constantly pops up in new games. It feels like she's my partner. Like I'm playing like in video games. It's a lot different than like kind of like movies and all that, because like I can actually control them and like they change over time. And it's like getting to know them again with every installment. So with video games, I guess the term waifu or maybe husbando would have a tighter meaning for video games, because I have that interactive bond with them. If I'm just watching them and they just fuck up like Mume and Caballerieri, God rest her horrible soul, it's just like, okay, I like your design and I will draw questionable things of you, but that's it. It's an aesthetic thing.
Ooh, that's interesting. Waifu is an aesthetic.
I mean, shit. I mean, like most of these anime girls these days, like I came up with the term like waifu generator. It's like all these girls are the goddamn same. Like, what are you saying? Tsundere, yandere, what the third one? And it's just like, just different hair color, different situation, and it's just like, you could swap them out. Nothing will really change. Nothing. I mean, but what about Asuna? Asuna, she cooks, she likes the main character, and she fights with a rapier. If you take the girl from Samurai Showdown, Charlotte, would that be much of a change? I don't know. So girls who really stand out, and like Ryuko is like one of the few girls I'm like, that's a waifu right there. Like when it comes to non-video game related stuff, because like she's different. She still sticks out as my mind. Like, is Ryuko a copy of someone? Probably, but I still just see her identity, and I'm like, all right, I put some value behind that. That's why I want merchandise of this character. But if it's just like Tomoe-chan and her friends, and she blushes whenever she walks over a gust of wind and her skirt flies up, I'm like, I don't care. Like, Nell is another one from Bleach. Like, I just love how strong she is, and like how like she turns from a kid to an adult, and she used to be a top dog of the Arankars, and it's like at least try, at least try.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it for me.
What I find interesting about the Ryuko being a waifu thing is in Kill la Kill, I only thought like Mako was the only waifu for me.
Yo, Mako.
And I could go on ages about Mako, but again, I think when we look for these characters that we slap the term waifu or husbando on, it's usually because they either have traits that we find super endearing, or it's because we really want to be like them in some subconscious form. The closest parallel I can draw is in the new Fire Emblem games, Fire Emblem Fates, Odin. Like, he is, I can't even describe in words how much like I like the character, to the point where it's borderline obsessive, and I wish I could hack the game and give him every single woman in the game as rank. And then pretty much I'd have an army of Ophelias to go and like fight against all the battles in the game, but I can't do it because I don't know how to hack the game yet.
Yeah, I am the opposite, man. I love Lancelot. Like, that's my spirit animal, and I want him just to have his one girl, his one true love. That's why I want him to be happy with his one girl, man.
Another thing why I like the waifu.
Wait. Can I just say one thing real quick before?
Go.
The whole thing about like what is the definition of a waifu? I think that's an interesting thought, for the fact that we live the age that we're actually living in. Definitions no longer matter. People have their own definition. The English dictionary is constantly updating its own definitions, because everyone is just taking a word and making it mean whatever they want. So every word has a personal definition to that one person, and they don't care about the other person or the original definition or the original use of that word. And that's actually standard now, and that's okay. And it's really ridiculous and amazing that we live in a society that our words don't mean the same to everyone.
Pretty much.
And I just want to bring that up. But yeah, go ahead,
But
Warren.
yeah, another reason why I support it, it's like why I like it. It's like the meaning of escape, because real life relations. Well, I'm gonna sound super pathetic, but I don't give a fuck. Real relationships are stressful. You have to meet new people. You have to kind of doll yourself up for first impressions, and it's really stressful. And if you do get in a relationship, well, for me personally, it's stressful. You had to freaking, what do you need? What do I need to change about myself? Whatever. Gotta pay to go out to the movies, whatever, and stuff like that. And it's like there's the extra stuff. I'm like, it's stressful for me personally. I'm not that much of a people person, and it's just like, here I can just watch them, and it's just like them doing their own thing, and I'm just interacting, making stories like kind of with characters kind of based off of them. It's more fun, and it's just a bit more carefree rather than stressful, like, oh, I gotta see this girl today, and she's complaining about her shoes. Oh, not that all women complain about shoes, but
They all do. They all do.
I'm trying to not be sexist, all right?
I can't say that there's a correlation or anything, but based on what I've learned through my taking Japanese language courses and hearing and knowing about the declining birth rate over there, you got to wonder, why is that the case? When we were learning about the language, we learned about the culture, and the culture is pretty much really high stress all the time, to the point where it's got a pretty high suicide rate, because people just can't take the stress. And you got to wonder if what Warren said is actually one of the key factors behind it. The fact that having waifus and husbandos are indeed less stressful to deal with, and it really is an escape. So you don't have to deal with everyday life and the same people in life that may be giving you a lot more stress than you really want. And I just find that like it could have more significance overall, and then that makes the whole concept of waifu somehow a little bit more powerful than it should be, in my opinion.
My thing to add what you said, because I actually did a little bit of research on that. A man in Japan, he could live off of the money amounts is just a sample. It's not the exact amount of money, but basically he could live off $100 paying rent and just sleeping in someone's house or in the closet. He buys this shirt from a convenience store. The food market thing for like $2. He gets a white T-shirt, and basically he could survive a whole month out of like $1,000, himself. But the second he has a family, a wife, he needs at least like $7,000 a month to survive. And who wants to do that? If you have the opportunity to have everything you want, have all the feelings of having a relationship, the love and affection, and none of the burden that comes with it, what do you choose?
Well, and something else to consider here is that the work hours in Japan are insane. So in order to have an actual social life, it's really difficult. It's insanely difficult. And that's where that whole money issue is a problem.
Yeah.
Well, also, it'll be because we're not going to continue this conversation, but if you work 12 hours a day or plus, and you're supporting your family, but you can't enjoy your family, what's the whole point of it?
Yeah.
That's how you break family structure and how kids don't get to see a lot of their parents and stuff, and that just makes the whole dynamic of the family kind of pointless.
And then you come home and everyone's mad at you.
Or you're mad at everyone.
And it's just a toxic situation where you're paying $7,000 to support this shit. I'm like, but the back with the waifu, because I can't believe we've been like a half hour already.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the concept of waifu husbando is really important in storytelling, and in my story, I wanted to be a waifu generator. That project title is a waifu generator. And I was wondering, how are you guys using your own concept of waifu in your own stories or husbandos? Or how does that even fit in your story?
Well, I can say for mine, I would rather I put my characters together, and I'd rather have the audience feel for the characters that are engaging with each other. So it's more shipping than husbando, but it's,
I get what you're saying. You're more in line with like you should have a favorite person because of how they interact with another person in the comic.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well, actually, that's not what I understood. What I understood is that like she wants you to enjoy the unit versus the individual person.
Yeah, so actually liking the relationship versus liking the persons or the people involved.
Yeah.
And that's interesting to me because I feel like making things more waifu husbando oriented allows for people to jump onto liking your characters a lot more. And I think that it happens naturally that if you like the character, you're going to like the relationships to get into. Or maybe you won't. Maybe that's a contention point, and that's how you can build your story up. Like, hey, you like this guy, but this guy ends up going into an abusive relationship with this other girl, and you're like, you should get out of that. You need to get out of that, and you start feeling for the character in that way. So, in a sense, I feel like Tony is actually pretty on point with that decision to make it a waifu generator because you start making audiences get really invested in these particular characters, and if you have a lot of them, then there's going to be something for everybody.
All right.
I think that's why the latest Fire Emblem games have done so well, and I go back to this every single time. When I look at how the Fire Emblem series has evolved from the first games I played, I love the first games because of the the gameplay. And I liked the first games because it had everything I wanted in a game. It was medieval setting, it had dragons. I was just like, yeah, I'm sold. But as it progressed, um, I noticed that it's only because I like these things that I was willing to play the next games in the series, and it wasn't so much about the characters; it's just more about tactics, gameplay. There's a cool character who uses a sword. I'm sold. When Awakening came out, I started really wanting to get invested into the characters because I realized that my decisions or like the choices I made actually affected the outcomes in a certain sense. And when I found a pairing that I liked, or when I found a person that I liked, I wanted to pair him up or her up with the best possible candidate. And so that whole thing, making my own choices to get to like influence, I guess, the end result, that made it really hard to put the games down when I got started on them. So it is effective.
Ahmed, when the conversation between two units are getting serious and they're breaking down the walls and becoming like open and be like, yo, I don't hate you. I just admire you, have hold you to a higher standing. And then that unit dies before you could end that conversation stream. That burn. It's like, no, you guys were getting close.
See, that's why I play the soft reset game. I can't stand to have my characters die.
Like,
I just get way too attached to every single one of them, even the ones I don't like.
let me see.
But I guess it's a little bit. Sorry, Warren. Did you want to bring up a point?
No, I was gonna answer the question, but if you go on.
I just wanted to real quick drop this little comment. I think it's a little bit more interesting when you apply it to comics, because the husbando waifu thing in comics is I can't recall a really prominent example. Like the Naruto with Sakura and Hinata thing, that was more of like a shipping war, not a waifu war per se. And I'm trying to think of like other prominent like shipping things, but it's almost always like a love triangle or something. It's never like, oh, here's a character and immediately you think that a waifu has bando. You'll find that a lot in light novels, but you won't find it in a lot of manga and comics.
But I don't think there's much of a difference just because you're rooting for a certain pairing. It's kind of that same thing with love and affection, like the way people write fan fictions of Naruto and Sasuke and all of that. It's just like, I think there's that same type of endearment and everything, and it's just like you wanting to see them happy or you want to see them in a certain situations just the same way. I don't think there's really much of a difference. Yeah, definitely. No.
Wait, you don't think there's much of a difference between shipping versus liking a character?
Yeah, because liking it, like because you like the two characters and you like what they could be together, and you like the element they could be, and that in itself, a character is an element at the end of the day. So, I still think it's the same thing in my opinion. But that's just me.
I wanted to add to what Warren is saying, because we take Naruto, yes, there weren't any like really good females in that, but every time I hear, oh, they did Bruce Lee, what's that guy?
Rock
Middle
Lee. Rock Lee.
No, Rock Lee. Yeah, they did Rock Lee wrong. I wish Rock Lee had more screen time and whatnot. I'm like, but is it Rock Lee your husbando? And are you rooting for him and feel unjustified because your husbando is not getting the limelight?
That is
Kind
a
of
good
being
point.
bullied by everyone else?
That is a good point. It's like our fanfiction Metallica Lee, Warren.
Yeah, pretty much. But I'm like, Rock Lee, yeah, it could be the same thing. I'm just like, the way the story narrowed out. It's more of like, I'm just mad at problems in the story, and that's it for me. But how, like, answering really quick on how I use the waifu system and the husbando system in my story. I like how using characters in like an ever-changing field, like oh, I like this character, but do you like all shades of that character and how nasty they can be in certain situations, or how happy they can be in certain situations? I want to put them like I'm like guinea pigs. I want to put them in multiple different situations and variables, and like see like how they act and whatever. And it's just like seeing all the shades of those characters and everything. And that whole like thing I say a lot is just like freaking like knowing all sides of a person. Do you feel the same way about them and everything, or did you just like them for face value and at the end of the day? So yeah, that's how I use it. I just like freaking turning the tables at any moment I can.
Okay, but in Death Star, who is the waifu in that? Who do
Um,
you who would you label as like a waifu?
None of them, because they're all looking for something to complete them, and it's just like through the audience eyes or through my eyes when I'm writing them, I don't see them as like seeing watching someone look for something to complete them. I mean, I guess, but it's just like they're still incomplete characters trying to look for like a complete thing. And guess you could argue and say that's a waifu, but it's just like I just consider it more I just concentrate more on the element they're looking for. I guess you could say Michelle, but that's push.
Actually, to be 100% honest, I think that what you're saying about incomplete character is pretty important. I do think waifus are complete packages, and it's actually precisely why they're complete packages that it's kind of like a forbidden rule in otaku culture to have them married off or have them actually pair up with the main character.
Yeah, they have like we said before, they have something we're looking for. Why like a waifu generator is like kind of like a commercial. Like we're starting off all like 7 girls, whatever, and we want these characters to be likable as fuck by the end of the season, so you will buy merchandise in them. But why the hell would I sell you a car without tires, without windows, without a wheel? Like when the car's like, I need a wheel. Can someone give me a wheel? And it's just like, so yeah, it's just like seeing these characters get more complete through the many different elements, or lose what they already have in the different elements. Like that's like teeter-tottering about that kind of throws off the balance. And I'm like, if you want to find a wife out any of those girls, feel free. But it's just like, but it's an aesthetic type of thing. So like I said before, aesthetic counts too. So so I guess Lizella and Michelle would count. Rain too.
To be honest, I think personally when I read Death Star, the girl that Michelle's finding for like 80 pages,
Mm-hmm.
they brought up that I thought she was a waifu.
Fair point.
She has waifu material.
Hmm.
I mean, she does have the backstory. She does have
That
the
usually
backstory.
goes a long way.
Like,
She's the only character with a backstory so far.
but yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah. To answer the question, for me, I don't think I actually answered the question yet.
Nope.
I just quipped here and there. But I think for what I've been doing is I've been actually doing the inverse of what Warren was doing. I was acting out of selfish creation. So all the characters in the stories I've written are personal waifus and husbandos of mine. And it's kind of like, if you feel like they're the same for you, then great. But if not, these are the types of characters I like, and these are the types of characters I'm going to use to tell the stories I want to tell. And that's really it. Like I'm not trying to make a waifu and husbando generator, but I'm generating my own waifus and husbandos that cater to like my own personal taste.
Well, the question is, how do you use your waifu in your own story?
That's literally it. I just use them based on their traits and what I like, and then that's how they get used. I mean,
No, I'm giving you the third degree because your story is really interesting. Um, well, okay, I might spoil it. I'm sorry, Ahmed. Forgive me.
mhm,
Well, don't.
it's fine.
It's fine. But your story is a love story gone wrong, and I'm guessing the waifu will be the girlfriend.
Well, no, I don't consider her a waifu. I consider her the epitome. Well, first off, to clarify, this isn't a story I wrote. This is a story that my friend gave me and wanted to see turned into a comic, and then I decided to take my own spin to it. So I just need to clarify that.
No.
But the female in this that is the other half of this relationship is a character that I could not get behind, and that's why I found it interesting to create her. I did not like her mentality, her mindset. I thought that she was a pretty well-rounded person, but I also thought that that kind of worked to her detriment in regards to the relationship, and I felt like the way she handled it, like based on what I've written of her, was wrong. And so creating a character that you feel is wrong is quite the interesting experience. And I don't think she's a waifu. I think, if anything, there is no waifu husbando in that particular story.
But the way you said it, it wasn't even about the love story. It was about getting away from the love story. Already happened.
Yeah.
It's about moving on. So, and the way you said she's more of an echo in like his head. So she feels more like an obstacle than an actual element in the story. Like not even an antagonist. He's just moving away from that. And the main antagonist is his own state of mind and his own his own obstacle. So calling her a waifu, I mean, I guess once again, like if they're any way established in the story, they can be a waifu. I think, anyways. But it's just like for me personally, the way you said it's just like.
Yeah, it could be personal bias, and I'm saying there's no waifu in my
Yeah.
story, but at the same time, I guess anybody can find a trait they like in any type of character, right?
But yeah, we're trying to. Yeah, but it's all what we think, and that's what makes it interesting. And yeah, I kind of agree with you too. Like it doesn't feel like that kind of story. More like a mental game type of thing.
Yeah, and actually, that raises the question, like, what type of story is appropriate for waifus and husbando characters?
Mm.
And that's why those stories work, right? Like for example, Sword Art Online or something. That whole sense of you are the main character. You seeing these girls through this character's eyes. That's why there's so many of them, and because it's profitable. Like, get that right girl, get the right animated GIFs going on Tumblr, and she's a hit. And yeah, like even RPGs too. Like in FF10, you're seeing them through Tidus's eyes, and he's narrating, and he's guiding your hips while he's walking around yucking it up. And like you see Orin just being like, "Don't do what I did," and gives you advice and stuff. And it's just like you look up to him through Tidus's eyes, and yeah, stuff like that. So
Yeah, perspective does play a large role in how you see characters. That's a good point.
yeah, really.
I'm actually kind of muffled up because I wonder, can you just seeing that it is your own story when you're looking at it with biased eyes, can you judge a waifu in your own story? But then you have the ability to make if a force a waifu upon people. I find that kind of interesting.
Oh, how do you force a waifu?
I like.
Sword Art Online?
Oh no, that wasn't. Ooh.
That was force. That was
Like
No,
push them hard, like stuff like Telovru, maybe a little bit of Saikano too, like
Oh, okay.
yo,
Chill out,
Bleach.
Love Hina.
oh yeah.
Bleach, the black hero girl, the sister.
Yeah.
There's Bleach is a fashion show of that, yeah. And you know why? I can't find it really. Who's the waifu? Whatever my character. Rain I can see because I didn't really create her. But the other ones, I know them. They're like my family, like in a weird, sick, twisted way. It's like I know everything about you. I know everything you do. I know what you look like, just from the skeletal structure, and it's just like compared to someone who would see you from like just what you look like on the outside, it's like, oh wow, that looks interesting. I know everything. It's like, but she farts every 3 seconds or some shit like that, and it's just like I know everything. So it's like, yeah.
That is a good point.
But that's just for me personally. But yeah, it's
That's interesting you bring that up because like I don't consider the characters I make family. Actually, I consider them more on the level of friends.
Well, you haven't worked on it long enough as Warren though.
That is another good point. So I have to clarify that I haven't actually created.
But I don't know. It's different for. I'm a crazy guy. I mean, I'm the one who will shut out all the women of the world and cuddle myself in hugging pillows until the day I die. Like I will be buried with my Jabril Chan pillow.
You're not gonna be the only one, man. Jay's gonna be right next to you.
If you think I'm pathetic,
no wait.
Follow us on Barrage.
Josh will be right next to you.
No,
but what? Josh has a girlfriend.
You'd be surprised on
Oh.
Friends.
Yo, Shasta, you haven't smoked for a while. Do you have anything to add? I don't wanna.
Well, I was thinking about waifu generating, and I was thinking about my own characters, and I got heavily invested in thinking about my story, Civil War. Well, that's its temporary title if I ever do pick it up as a project.
Yeah.
But
AK, don't steal it.
Yeah, Marvel.
It's on the internet. You don't know what happens.
Project Untitled's already done.
But I was thinking about my character, and I was thinking about she's the main character, and I was wondering if she is waifu material. She's a giant coward. She's clumsy. She's awkward, and I wondered what kind of waifu, like, the waifu territory she'd enter in.
Sailor Moon.
And I realized, yeah, Sailor Moon. I actually was thinking that. I'm like, oh my god, it's Sailor Moon waifu.
No.
But only she, drives a tank.
She drives a tank.
Sailor Moon drives a tank.
Blasts aliens.
That's funny because Project Untitled, like I said, is a waifu generator. But going more in detail, I was raised with 2 sisters, and I spend more time with girls and guys. So I see all the groups of girls, and they have their own personalities, different, separate, and I'm just mimicking that in my own story. But I find all those girls are completely bangable. So I was like, yo, waifu generator.
And there are different things too, like I remember when Tony would tell me what he thought of Dead Star and what he thought of Lizella, it gave me a new perspective. And I started drawing her like, oh, how would Tony like her? Let me draw her like this. Let me have her butt sticking out and shit, like, and it's just like, maybe it's not about what we think in our story, it's about what maybe the people think when they see our stuff. Because maybe the designer of Ryuko is like, whatever, she's just another bitch. But I see her and I'm like, oh my god, she's the goddess. So, waifu is in the eyes of the waifuder. Waifolder.
The waifu namer.
the hazo.
Yo,
He who names waifus.
imagine if Mako was never supposed to be a waifu.
I doubt.
And exactly what Warren's scenario, it just got picked up and she became the ultimate
Oh my god! My Little Pony, why did I not bring that up? They're like, this is a show for little girls. Alright, 2 months later. Why are there 40-year-old men jacking off to these ponies? And it's just like, yeah, they didn't think, yeah, we're just making another toy line show, nothing about, then these guys are like, fucking, it's like, wow, DeviantArt's pretty nasty. Why? Oh my god, Twilight Sparkle, what are you doing? And it's like, yeah, it just depends on who gets it and how they feel about it. Like, people probably waifu Thomas the Tank Engine in that dark world. We don't know. But, yeah.
But it's strange, man. I mean, like,
Everyone has their different tastes, and what they make as a waifu may not be agreeable to ours, but does that mean they're not waifu material? I mean, you can make a tree waifu material if there's any kind of engaging bits about it for that person.
Oh my god, you said that. The only thing I can see is like the light beams going through the grass
hmm.
and the little petals, and I'm like, oh, you're so sexy.
Oh my god, it's just. So remember, kids, if you like an element, it can be a waifu. Don't let your mom, your dad, your sister, your best friend tell you, or your girlfriend or boyfriend tell you that can't be a waifu, because it can be.
Everything is waifu.
Every.
Lifu is waifu.
So,
I
yeah.
I do have one question, and I probably think it'll be the last one. Um, waifus versus okay, you have a waifu, but does any part of that conflict with the story or with character development if you want to make it into a waifu? And this is a question I have no answer to. I was just throwing it out
I guess it depends on if the waifu ends up in a relationship with another character, or if the
It
husbando.
depends, because Hinata, her whole plot line and her character arc ended when Boruto was born. She just was thrown to the sidelines. Everything before that was like, we gotta build up Hinata so hard for Naruto that people will just scream and on the edge of the seats when they finally hold hands in chapter 6 bazillion and 64. And I think it kind of hinders the story because it kind of throws a somewhat important character into the wayside.
But
Like,
by the same token, a lot of people ate it up too.
they did, but it's just like when I saw Boruto the movie and how underused she was, I'm just like, really? You got hit by rubble and you knocked out, and you're out here in the hospital? Oh my god, please.
there. Yeah, because you a lot of people are not big fans of Sword Art Online, and a lot of people like the main girl of Sword Art Online because they just liked her. But when she got labeled as a waifu and then was put as a tool to force the main character to do something, because she stopped being a character, she became a trophy, and I guess that's why a lot of people stopped liking it. So I was wondering, is that like waifu gone wrong or something like that?
Boy,
I,
you.
I don't. Oh, go on.
No, I'm sorry. With like I was thinking that with Asuna too, because Asuna usually with most anime you see like the girl and the guy and they go all the way and maybe they kiss at the end of the series and then season end, right? But Asuna, you went all the way. He kissed. They had a kid or a virtual kid. He freaking and like they were basically that's it. They couldn't get further, and eventually they did it in a light novel. But it's just like all of that, and I'm just like, all right, that's your purpose. And I'm like, she can't be a character on her own. Nope, she's done. All right, what are you gonna do with her now? Oh, she'll just be something for Kirito to save or something. I heard she's better in season 2, but yeah, keep going.
The tail end of season 2 when she is in the spotlight as a supporting character without Kirito being there, of course. I actually, to be 100% honest, I think the only reason why Asuna fell from grace is because Kirito's in the picture. The way light novels are structured, they're structured so that the main character fits in one of two tropes from what I've seen. They're either supposed to be the really lucky one who ends up having all these cool people around them, or they end up being the really awesome one who ends up drawing people to them. And Kirito is the latter. So he has to draw cool people to him and then keep them there. And then he has to become more awesome as a result and has to further the plot by himself because it just shows the power of his character or something. At least that's how most popular otaku consumable light novels go. But what I was going to say, I completely slipped my mind. So
I'm sorry.
yeah, I was going to respond to Tony, but like when Warren went on that tangent, it was something about this character in particular.
How she got turned into a tool just to give Kirito something to do.
Yeah, I did want to say something about it. I think
Because my problem with that was she was a really interesting character in the sea of waifus. Like it was a waifu generator. She won the waifu battle. She got the crown, and it's like, well, now that you have a crown, we have to sit you on your throne, and you can't move or do anything because everyone else has to go get you. Like,
Actually, didn't they take that crown off like after season 1 ended its entirety and season 2 started with Shinon?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's too much information. We're done. It's been an hour, and we still haven't talked about sports. Any last comments? Talk.
I did want to say Yui's better, and I'll end it there with the Sword
Yo,
Art Online.
which one, Yui?
Yui's
Yui's the kid.
kid.
Oh,
Uh,
I actually I like the girl that had AIDS. She was really fun.
AIDS?
Yeah, she had HIV and she was dying.
What?
Oh
Who's
yeah, yeah, the girl in the end, that end part. Yeah, that's where they say Sword Art Online 2 turns around. I believe them, but I
Like her sister died, and then she looked at the main girl as like an older sister, and they had a beautiful fucking relationship till she died.
Oh, that's awesome.
you know
It was.
one really quick, super quick. I'm so sorry. I really like how Dragon Ball Z handles it. Like, I know Toriyama did this for jokes and started out as a gag thing, but with Chi-Chi, you see Chi-Chi grow up, and it's like, sure, she's not in the front lines with Goku, but you see her influence on Gohan to the point where he gives up fighting when his dad's gone, and he studies and whatever, and he's going to school. Because, like, when his dad's not around being, like, trained to be Super Saiyan, whatever, you're studying with your mom, and she's just a presence in Dragon Ball Z, and they mention her, like, Chi-Chi's scary, man. You better study, Gohan. We'll fight Cell without you, or whatever. And it's just, like, stuff like that keep giving them a purpose, like, even though they may not be on the front lines, have a little piece of them be with the character that they're most affecting. At least.
I like it because she never changed. She's always been Chi-Chi.
Every time.
From a little girl, from growing up, they never alter her personality to fit a mold.
Even like,
Now
yeah,
Boomba, they changed her. Shit.
Bulma boy. Bulma's on the other hand, she's been in the front lines, and she got with Vegeta and still doing stuff. Android 18, she's a gold digger. She'll do what she can for money.
Mhm.
And, like,
I have a question. Is Dragon Ball Z a husbando generator?
No. Well, in my personal opinion, I don't think so. I look to it.
You're not gay. That's
we're
completely fine.
we're too close to it. I'm too close. But I think so, yes, because people love Trunks. People are like, "Ooh, Trunks is coming back," and yeah, people always throw Goku against people in opposition to fight Superman and Saitama. So I think so, yes.
And don't get me up with fucking Broly. Broly does nothing in this anime. He's like the coolest shit ever. I'm like, why?
And it's like everybody looking up to Goku sucking Goku's dick. Goku's everybody's husbando. It's like, we got no Krillin. We don't fight him till Goku shows up, all right? And then yeah, so there is.
I didn't talk about my man Krillin.
Oh,
Krillin, man.
Krillin got it. Yo,
Krillin got all the goods. He got Android 18,
yo.
and I was just like, that's how you do the strongest warrior on Earth justice.
Vegeta bullies you the whole series, and you get the girl who whooped his ass. Like, that is beautiful. Like, she broke both of his arms, and now she's fucking giving you hand jobs. Like, fuck.
Yo,
Holy shit.
yo, with that,
Thumbnail for this week.
yo, with that, yo, Warren, can you send us off, man?
Alright, guys, before we head off, feel free, guys, to follow us at Barrage Crew on our Facebook group, and find us on our Barrage, and like our page Barrage. Download our magazine. If you'd like to talk to us, comments below, or as I said before, follow the group. Yell at us if you think there's a waifu that we missed, or whatever, or you like Star Online. May God rest your soul. But we'd love to hear from you. And Tony, whatever. I'm Warren Thompson. You can find me on Instagram at XO_MB_EE, or The Road to PDS. And you guys go.
Yo, I would like to know who is your waifu in your own stories, if you guys are making a story, or have a story in your head. how will you use your waifus?
Okay.
Leave it in the comment. And you know where to find me. The link's below. And yeah, man.
Hey.
Hi guys.
Shasta, we're done.
Oh my gosh.
Sign up, bro.
I got stuck on the toilet.
No, it's fine.
It's okay. Shasta, you wanna you wanna
Waifus
sign off?
don't poop, alright, man? It's like-
Yo, this thumbnail's gonna be great, man.
Oh, I can imagine. Warren, I await it with much anticipation.
Alright.
Shasta, you want to sign off?
Yeah, this is Heartblood Rose from YouTube and DeviantArt. Signing off. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Shasta, hold on. Who is your husbando in Dragon Ball Z?
None of them.
Never mind.
They have too much dick for me.
Yo, this thumbnail. What you got? I'm excited.
Alright, last but not least, I am Shingo Amito, your not host for today. You can find me on DeviantArt, YouTube, and Instagram as Shingo Amito, and yeah, that's it. Peace out.
Read sports manga, kids.
That might be next week's topic. Oh wait, 2 weeks from now. Yeah. Anyway, peace out. Bye. I'm signing off now. Hold on. Wait. Okay.